morning, everybody. We're back again. We're doing good this week. We're on a roll. DommyGun reach you here. Who-Bangin Sports Talk, Sunday morning, MLB. Hopefully, we'll have a little UFL also if DJ gets here. If not, maybe he'll text me his plays if he can't make it. But he did a show yesterday, broke down all the games. If you want to take a look at that, we can. We have a couple good games today. You know how it is on Sunday. Sunday sometimes ain't so much of a fun day in Major League Baseball. The weekend is tough. Let's face it. Yesterday I broke even. Got a little unlucky in the Baltimore Oreo over 8. They scored 7-0 game. Oakland's been hitting a little bit, been scoring at least 3 or 4 runs. They couldn't do it for me yesterday. Those are the you don't really remember much about the wins, but you remember about those losses, that's for sure. But anyhow, we got a couple guests today. Big Ragoo is not a guest. He's just part of the Who-Bangin team, but we do have MooseMoney also as a guest, and we'll bring them right in. A quick thing. Yesterday, I ended the show and said, dare we actually take a White Sox again to actually win 2 games in a row? Well, they did. And they scored a lot of runs. What's going on with Tampa? We talk about how bad the White Sox are and how bad some of these pens are. Boy, oh boy, Tampa's pen is... I didn't look up the numbers today, but, gee, they're definitely plummeting towards the end of the line there with the pen, especially giving up what they've had the last 2 days against the White Sox. Anyway, let me bring in Moose and Big Ragoo, and let's get started. Moose, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, Dom.
How
about you, man? Yeah, it's MLB, so you got to bring on your boy MooseMoney bets. Let's go.
That's right, man. We had fun last year. Now we'll get to it this year. We'll have a good time. Like you said, you can't do MLB without Moose. And without Big Ragoo. What's up, Doc?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Moose, good to see you, my friend. Dommy.
Ragoo.
Weeks. I'm gonna pinch myself right now, man. See what's going on.
Yeah, man. Listen, that's what I said. I did a bunch of shows this week. That's our biggest problem: consistency. That's my goal this year, is to be consistent. No more playing around. But anyhow, we got some good games today. How was your day yesterday? Did anybody? Did you have any games yesterday?
I laid low yesterday. Yesterday, I went for a little bike ride. They had a little motorcycle festival down here close to where I live, so I cranked the old Harley Davidson up and took the old gal. I didn't do shit in sports yesterday, but today I'm ready to rock and roll a little bit.
You need those breaks every once in a while. How about you, Moose?
The first 5 under in the Marlins Nationals was a very, very tough loss when the Marlins forgot how to play baseball in the 5th inning, so that was a tough one. Yankees came through big time, and I had the Giants Pirates first 5 under, so those 0-0 first 5 when you have the unders, those are just a beautiful thing. And but I did get my shit kicked in a little bit with the Blue Jays. I went after the Dodgers. It happens.
Yeah.
Moose, I had the Nationals money line.
It seems like that 5th inning is always the one that comes
up. 100%.
Top of the 5th.
All the time. I had
Moose yesterday.
Last week, Dommy, we had the first 5 under easy casher. We had the Rockies game last week, and I think it was like 11, 10.5, 11, and we got a good outing. I got to go back and look at the records and see who threw for us. But those are like what Moose says, when you got 0-0 going into 5th. Not that you could always put it on cruise control, but those 5th innings are kind of squirrely a lot of times, especially when you're hanging in there by 1 run on an under.
Listen, remember first of all, Moose, I had the first 5 under also when the Nats under 4.5. I had it and I paid -130 for it, and I was not happy. I had the Nats money line also in that game, +116. But I feel your pain.
It wasn't
I feel your pain. The day before, I had the Tigers in that damn Tiger Kansas City game. 1-0, top of the 9th. The Royals just explode. Olsen pitched great. I couldn't ask for anything more. And so that's baseball for you, right?
In a nutshell.
But anyhow, we'll go on to today. We got. Let me see. I don't know if we're on any of the same games. We might have some different plays on it. But let's start. Let me see what games are first. Doc, you're on the Dodger game, you said?
Yeah, yep. It was
Let's
my
do
last
that one first.
time the Dodger game. I'm on that with the Blue Jays.
Is anybody on the Cleveland Atlanta game? No,
Yeah,
right?
I am.
Oh, okay. Let's do that first
I'm on the Cleveland Atlanta game.
because that's like
Yeah,
kind of in order.
yeah. Okay. So
Go ahead.
you want me to start off with
Yeah,
Atlanta?
go
So
ahead. Do that game.
all right. So we get Lively for Atlanta. I mean, excuse me, Lively for Cleveland, who's he's got a 7.9 WHIP, 2.3 ERA. He's looking for his first win, 0-1. He's got let's see, I guess he's only got 2 starts and he's played Boston twice. About 6 days ago, he's up against Boston where he got the L, and then I guess he got a no decision first out. So he's working his way in to the lineup on account of Bieber and Williams going down. In the rotation. I mean, he's got decent stuff. He's got good K ratio. A 7.9 WHIP, which is strong. Elders, on the other hand, for Atlanta, he's in his first start. I guess he's got 1 loss. Or no, excuse me, he's got 1 win. He's not a big K guy. He's 1.2 WHIP. So basically, we got two decent pitching guys here, but one guy's looking for his first win, one guy coming off a first win. And the rotation wise, he's kind of earned his way back up. He lost his starting job early in the season. Now he's kind of worked his way back. He's a solid pitcher, Elders, but
yeah, he only has 6 innings in, so
yeah, he's very light work. Like I say,
exactly.
they sent him down to AAA, so now he's working his way back up. So both of these teams are tops in the league as far as offense goes. Both have a real strong run differential, which I'm big on. And then Cleveland, especially on the road, his record's been fantastic, against winning teams too. So they're getting the job done on the road. They're getting a job against winning teams. And to me, I see value in Cleveland in this spot. I really do. Even though Elders is done really nice and like I say, with Lively, he's a journeyman type pitcher, but they get run support, and Cleveland's bullpen is money right now too. So I look for the game, full game. I'm going to be on the side of Cleveland here, taking it at a plus 145 price. I'm going to gamble a little bit on Lively here. UCF product, guy's been around the block a few times, and I think I like his K rate. I like his whip, so. And then the Braves bats have kind of been, strong as they've been all season long here, but I think they play tough against tough opponents. So, and
they keep the ball in play, man. They hit the ball.
Yeah.
They don't strike out. Cleveland hits the ball, so they got they're on base.
They're a money team with the bat.
Yeah.
So, do we look at a ton of runs here? I mean, this could be one of those games that kind of jumps over the total too.
It could.
Depends upon how it gets away early. If they stay tight early, then. Like I said, once he gets to the later innings, I think I give the nod to Cleveland and the bullpen department. So Moose can maybe elaborate a little bit more on it. But I to me, for my money, I think the way that Cleveland plays on the roads and their sticks and everything, I don't know. I think there presents a little value there for Cleveland here in this spot, the plus 145, 150.
I'll just give you one quick thing more on Lively. His 2 starts, both against Boston, right? One at home, one away. He went 19 outs last time, 15 outs the time before, 7 Ks in both games. So, I mean, he's pitched deep. So, Moose, you like the Guardians at all?
I mean, it's just a tough cap for me. It was a tough cap for this one. The one that I leaned the most on was the Braves team total over, but I just couldn't get there. The surprising thing about the Braves is you guys just alluded to their offense, but their offense at home is a 112 ISO. Which means that they're not really hitting for a ton of power. There's a lot of singles in there. They are hitting 253, but 365 slugs, 712 OPS. That's a team that's not really driving the ball to the gaps, not really putting the ball out of the yard. And I think Acuna still only has 1 home run. So I don't really hate the side of the Guardians, but if there was anything in this game I was going to play, it was going to be the Braves team total. But it's not the first game of their home series, so I'm not on the trend, and I stayed off this one.
I did kind of like the over when I first looked at it this morning, and I think the Guardians are a good price. Atlanta hasn't been Atlanta yet. Second half after the All-Star break might be a different thing. But Atlanta, they didn't come out swinging this year. The weather will help if you like runs in this game. 15, 16, 17 miles an hour blowing out to left field. So, the wind could help a little bit if you like like the over. But there you go. The Guardians. Doc, what did you get? 140.
145.
Right. That's see. Right there was a good price. That team total over for Atlanta was a little high, right, Moose?
It was 4.5, and it was juiced minus 135. So
Right.
that was kind of the thing. I mean, if
Yeah.
they gave me
Yeah,
a
I don't
five and
like
a
doing
half,
that. I agree with you,
maybe.
man.
Well, and the other thing is the Cleveland bullpen has been inconsistent early on, which is like this is supposed to be their strength, and they have
Right.
not been consistent. So it was just it was a lot of signs I wanted to read. I wanted to be put on the Braves team total, but it was just enough stuff to be like, yeah, all right.
I
Yeah,
got
they're
you.
the number 2 bullpen in the American League right now. But overall, MLB wise, they're what are they? They're sitting number 2 actually. The bullpen 2.48 ERA,
Let me see
1.06 WHIP.
Oh, let me see something real quick. All right, since 4:15, Cleveland, where are we at here? All right, since 4:15, Cleveland giving up. Oh yeah, no, their bullpen recently has been good, but they did have a nice little stretch of kind of struggling, and they did have to tax their bullpen in the first game of the series.
Yeah. There you go.
That's good. That's great. That's good. So we're on Cleveland in that one, and Moose, what's the first game you're on? You like a Kansas City game, right? You're on.
Yeah,
Let's
Kansas
do
City,
that one.
Detroit. All right,
Let's hit
I'm
that.
on the first 5. This is the most obvious play you could find on the board, in my opinion. It's the under in the Kansas City and Detroit. It's Michael Wacha, who on the road has not been nearly as good. But you look at this Detroit lineup and what they're doing versus right-handed pitching. This year since the 8th of April. And you can go back to whatever date you want. It really doesn't matter because it's going to be the same time of numbers. 616 ISO, 203 batting average, minus 8.5 weighted runs above average. The Detroit team has just not been hitting. And even at home, where you think they might have a more friendly batter's eye that they're accustomed to, nope, has not made a difference. So I don't think Walker's going to get torched. I think he'll give up a couple, but the bullpens for these teams have just been outstanding. Detroit ranks 6th in the last few weeks, and Kansas City has ranked in the top part of the season. They are 4th, 2.08, and you go to the beginning of the year, though both those teams have had performances that are very, very good from their bullpen. Both bullpens pretty fresh today. They haven't had a ton of usage from them recently. Ragoo said it earlier. The runs that came later in the game, I like the first 5. Take the bullpen question out of it, but you can play the full game if you'd like. But these first 5 are under teams. The Royals on the road have gone under 5 out of 9. The Tigers at home, first 5, have gone under 3 out of their have gone over 3 of their 10. So it'd be 7 of 10. I'm sorry, I'm not good at math. I'm trying to flip those stats in live. So you just saw my brain try to struggle through some math work. But I really like the first 5 under. Trake Skubal, a lefty. The Royals aren't hitting lefties this year. If I pull up their numbers versus left-handed pitching, and I will toss it back to you guys to see your take on it. But the Royals versus left-handed pitching this year, 240 average, 645 OPS, a minus 2.3 weighted runs above average. So, yeah, all those stuff, all the signs point in the same direction to me. First 5 under. I got the under 4.5 at minus 110.
Yeah, I mean, I like. Listen, Kansas City's starting pitching in general, right, has been in the top of the league for a while. The pen hasn't been as good, but their pitching has been good. And I agree with you on this game. I listen. Look what happened the other day too. I just talked about that 1-0 game with them. So and you got Screwball pitching right today.
Yep, Skubal versus Wacha. So you could go full game, but the the bullpen in the series has not lived up to their performance from the beginning of the year.
Yes.
I just say target the first 5. Both of these teams trend under in the first 5s. That's just the way everything points.
Michael Waka. I have a theory about Schoolball. We'll see if it comes true, because this ain't the right team for it. But I looked over his last year's starts, even the year before, but he got hurt. But he's built up a good career against, I hate to say it, but some bad teams. if you go back and look on how many times he's pitched against the White Soxes and the Oakland Athletics, and I've been looking, and even this year to start the year, I've been looking for a start against him where he's playing one of the good offensive teams, because he always gets the money. Everybody likes betting him. It's just a theory of mine. I'm looking to go against him, not today, but when I see him against a good offensive team next time, I'm definitely looking for that spot. It's just something that's been in the back of my mind. I don't know. It's just it's something off the wall, but there you go. But as far as today's concerned, I like that game. I like that under. What price did you get?
-110.
Oh, great. Beautiful. Beautiful. The first game I'm on is another off-the-wall weird game. I'm on the Nats. I'm on the under in this game. I've been on the under. I was on the under in the first game. I had the Nats yesterday. We talked about that first five. I'm also on the Nats money line on this game. Listen, I know it's Corbin Day, and I said the same. I went against. I had him last time against the Dodgers in that under game. He's pitched pretty decent this year, but believe it or not, and he's gone pretty long. I just think that today he's got listen, he's pitching against the Marlins. I mean, Corbin could always get lit up. I don't think it's going to be against the Marlins. The worst team in baseball against lefties, OPS. So worse than the White Sox. They're terrible, the Marlins, in every category. I just, that last time Corbin pitched, both last two starts, both against the Dodgers, no less. He got lit up in the first time, 5 earned. Then his last time, 5 1/3, shutout innings, 3 hits. And I just think that today he might have another decent start. The Nats are not good against lefties. Weathers isn't the worst pitcher. So I like the under in this game, even though it's Corbin, and I like the Nationals again to win like they have the last 2 days. Any thoughts on that?
About a .139 win percentage against lefties for the Marlins.
Yeah, they have not they have not looked good, but it is Patrick Corbin.
It is Patrick Corbin. I know it's it's a kind of a strange play, but I also took the Nats. I think the Nats are going to win again. And I got a +116 yesterday on them. I got to look to see what I took today. But I took the under 8.5. It was juiced to -122. So it was, that's what I took. I'm going to look up the price what I took the money line at. But that's my first play, my first 2 plays of the day. Next up, let's do that Toronto. Oh, let's say hello to the chat. First of all, my cousin Ferdinand. Fred, you got Ferdinand written down on your thing, huh? Is in the chat. Julian's in the chat. How you doing, Julian?
Yeah.
What does Julian say he took? Let's see. Pop that up.
That a boy, Julian. I'm on that same play, buddy. I'm going to get to that. I'm on that.
Yeah. All right. See, Julian, you're in good company. And Woo is in the house. What's up, Woo? How you been? Good to see you. Elders 8 hits versus the Marlins. Ball should be in play a lot. He's on the school ball prop. 7 Ks.
Yeah.
There you go. I like that that you're on some of these games that we were talking about, So that's good. Okay, Doc, the Toronto game.
Yeah, that was
interesting game, man. Goffman hasn't been that great. The Dodgers. Listen, the Dodgers like another team that they're not really playing super Dodger ball, but they're still they're still the Dodgers.
They score runs.
Go ahead.
Pitching's a little. They're giving up runs too at the same time. So
yes,
that big run differential the Dodgers usually have. You can count on them to score runs, but they're yielding some runs at the same time here, and we're looking at basically a bullpen game for the Dodgers today. Correct? On the Dodgers,
yes.
We got a bullpen game. So I'd see some vulnerability here for runs possibly. Lower score game yesterday. They won 4-2. The Blue Jays, like I say, the last time I was on with the East, all teams have winning records in the East and the AL East. So that's the most competitive division in baseball in my book right now. But things will tighten up and change during the course of the season. I can see the Jays kind of slipping a little bit down.
Yeah.
I can see the Rays. The Rays don't get their act together with the bullpen, and it's just going to be a tough look going forward. right now, with the way the O's are playing, with the way the Yanks are playing, they'll get a little margin early on. But there's 3 seasons of baseball. You got the first half up until the break. Then you got after the All-Star, everybody jockeying for position. So, and then teams staying healthy late in the year to make that playoff push. But I think Toronto's going to be taxed longer term, and these spots here, when they come up against teams like the Dodgers, and tough look in division, they got to win. They got to win. They got to split these series. They can't get swept. They got to win one. Sometimes maybe get lucky and win two and catch an L. But today, Gausman, Gausman is struggling. He's in a struggle spot, and that's why the Dodgers are going to throw this bullpen guy today. So I like runs here today, guys. I think both teams are very vulnerable here to give up a lot of runs early on, possibly. I don't want to try the first five. I'm a first five guy. That's my cap. I love getting involved in first five. But today, I think we'll see a ton of runs here in this spot here. So I like the over in this spot here. I think both pitchers are very vulnerable, and I know the Dodgers haven't been. I mean, look, you're looking at a -112, maybe live for that too. But 8.5 runs seems awful cheap here. It's a little bit juiced. There's some -120s, 115s out there, but I'm still not afraid of it. I don't want to get involved with the Dodgers on the run line, like I say, because they're vulnerable. But I think we'll see runs here today, guys. I like the 8.5 over.
Dom, you're muted. Dom, muted.
You're mute, Dom.
You're muted, bud.
You're still muted.
There you go.
There you go.
I don't know how the hell that just happens sometimes. Just like
Yeah.
mutes. Grove hasn't pitched. He's only going to pitch an inning or two, right? So
Yeah.
And he's starting. He's been involved in 9 games in this season. 6 ERA, 15 innings. He's pitched 15 innings total. 14 hits, 10 earned, 6 walks, 18 strikeouts. So, like you said, and who's following him, I don't know today, but I like the runs in that game. Gausman's been walking a lot of people lately, right?
Yeah.
Been putting guys on base.
Struggling bad.
Did you get you took the over 8.5?
Over 8.5 -115.
Wow. And you want to know something? FanDuel, well, that just goes to show you. It looks like money's coming in on this under, and which I have no idea why. I just looked up. FanDuel got an 8.5 plus even money right now.
Yeah.
To me, that's bizarre.
I should have waited. Maybe for show purposes, I'm going to lay to 115.
Yeah, it don't matter. That stuff don't matter with us. But I'm just saying. The money going on that under, I'm a little surprised, especially with Gausman on the mound.
Yeah, I kind of can see why. Go ahead. Gausman does have experience versus the Dodgers when he was with the Giants, and he actually faced the Giants 8 times. 7 of them came at the Dodgers, and this is his second start ever pitching against the Dodgers at home. He's actually pitched well against the Dodgers, 3.99 ERA in his 8 appearances, but he hasn't seen them since 2017. It's just the Dodgers bullpen has also pitched very well recently, extremely well recently. 2.57 ERA, a 2.55 or a .255 on base percentage, and a 240 slug. So they're just not giving up much power and much contact. And Blue Jays offense is, I don't know what's going on over there, because I thought them at home was supposed to be the trend, and they have not looked good this series.
I'll tell you
All
something.
valid points.
This year, Gausman though he hasn't lasted. He hasn't gone deep. He hasn't really gone deep at all. His last 5 average is only 12 outs.
It was Beal and up and down.
Yeah, exactly. 2
What
Ks
about Toronto's
last-
bullpen,
Anyway,
Moose?
Let me check real quick. I think
I got
Toronto's
no
also really poor. Since for the last 10 days, you got Toronto 4.08 ERA, 210 average, but they are giving up a 360 slug. So not a ton of power, but they are giving up some power.
Yeah.
I got plus 116 again on that in that Nats game, by the way, just like yesterday. So okay, so you're on the over 8.5. in the.
And
I
shop the
was
price, like you
I
said.
was I was leaning I was leaning this first five taking the Dodgers actually. Um, I just don't like Osman today, but we'll see what happens. Um,
Yeah, you got
the
to show me something.
let me see what game is up next. Dodgers. I talked about the Nats. The you talked about the KC game. I know Moose, you're on the. I know you're on. Oh, you're on two plays on that. Let me just do the Mets quick, and then we'll do
Yeah.
this San Diego
Well, I got a
Padre
bet in
game.
that one too. I got a bet in the Mets Cardinals as well.
Okay, good. You want to go? Go for it.
It's probably one of the other very obvious plays. I'm not sure how many of you use Swish Analytics, but if you go today to the best average for qualified batters, Paul Goldschmidt versus Jose Quintana in 20 at bats has a 600 average
Oh,
with
that's right. Yeah,
a
I just you're on Goldschmidt. That's right.
yeah with a
Yeah.
1200 slug. And Goldschmidt versus the Mets has hit over 300 versus lefties this year. He has hit over 300. The concern here is that in the month of April, he's hitting 208. So that's the concern. But in the month of April versus lefties, he's at least around 300. I don't really love it, but I mean, come on. Like, how can you hear all that and not be like, all right, I'll take a swing at Goldschmidt total bases over 1.5 at a plus price? And that's what I did. I threw a little half unit on it and I called it a day.
There you go.
Well, I'm going to tell you something that kind of correlates with my play, and I'll tell you something. You got the right pitcher on the mound for the Mets today for that to happen because he's getting worse and worse. Quintana, it started out okay, he's very disappointing his last couple starts. He's walking guys left and right. His last start versus the Giants was a 5-2. It was a 5-2 loss. I know they just finished beating the Dodgers 2 out of 3. I thought it was a bad spot for the Mets anyhow there, but 5 earned, 7 hits in 5 innings. Overall, his last 14 walks. He has 14 walks in 25 and 2/3 innings against 20 strikeouts. I mean, you ain't having success with that at all. I liked it for the Mets that they are hitting the ball. They had a good day yesterday. They're streaky. They're starting to fall off a little bit, I thought, but yesterday bounced back a little bit. They do hit at home. Lance Lynn is a decent. Listen, Lance Lynn is Lance Lynn. He's been around forever. He's a decent pitcher. I know our friend Jimmy the Bag loves Lance Lynn. If you just didn't know that little nugget, the Cards have won 4 out of 5. I tell you, I said it yesterday. The Cards weren't a bad. I had the Mets team total over yesterday. No, I had the Mets game over yesterday. It was the Yankees team total over. But I think the game goes over today. That's what I took. I took over 8 minus 120. So Lance Lynn, listen, he has a low. I don't go over Lance Lynn. He's been around forever. The Cards have won 4 of his last 5 games, but the Mets could hit. Mets could get to him without a doubt. They've been hitting righties pretty good. The Cardinals. One thing about the Cardinals and why I think even their team total today that might not be a bad bet also, but I don't know what the price is. But they have a real low strikeout rate and they have a high walk rate. And like I said, Quintana walks a lot of batters. Something else I noticed about the Cardinals, they got a low BABIP, so they're getting guys on base with their walks and stuff, but not driving them in. They got like a 238, and I expect that to go up. I don't really like them against the Mets today. Obviously, I always root for my Mets, but I'm with the over in this game, plain and simple. Over 8 minus 120. I think it's very easy to get to that 8. There's no weather to contend when it's beautiful out in good old New York, 7 miles east of Citi Field. So there you go. One thing about the Cardinals, I think they're going to start improving little by little. I think they're gonna be a decent team the second half, kind of like we talked about, Doc, with the Twins. And we see the Twins break out yesterday, but I think the Twins are another team. They got some decent pitching. I think they might go far. But anyhow, Mets over 8 minus 120 was my bet.
No, muted.
He took himself out again.
Did you see the scores that went on yesterday? They were crazy. Some crazy scores yesterday. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
17-run games.
If you had the the Grand Slam, or you just take the total runs in the day, that was an easy over.
Yeah, right. Was that? Yeah. That game that's going on, like yesterday, except for the Dodger game, that was 4-2. Baltimore 7-0, but the Mets 7-4, Cincy 8-4, 11-4 for the Nationals, 17-0 Red Sox. That's another team I yesterday. 12-4 for Houston, but that game didn't go over. That over was set at 16.
Yeah,
at 16 and a half actually went
today
off
again, 16 and a half.
Yeah, yeah. Detroit 6-5. So the Yankees 15-3. So crazy scores yesterday. But quickly, just touching on that game, that Houston game in Mexico City. I don't play those games. I don't want to be fooling around with overs that are at 16 and 17. I could care less about those games. But I don't remember off the top of my head. I could be right, but was it the Padres that played in Mexico City last time?
Yeah, it was Padres.
They didn't do good. The teams that came out of those games didn't do well. That altitude is higher than Coors Field, so it might be something to watch out for the teams that are playing, their next game, especially if there's no rest in between. I didn't look that further with the schedule. That's something to look at. Just like we look at team, I talked about the Padres the other day. I took the Phillies, and one of the reasons why was because the Padres just finished the series in Coors with no day off. And that's still a thing, man. That still affects teams. So this could in Mexico City, something to keep on, to look out for tomorrow and the next day. So, Moose, let's talk about your Seattle game. I know you love Seattle today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's the Diamondbacks on the road where they have a losing record, and the Mariners at home where they've been okay, but you're going to give me Logan Gilbert and the Seattle bullpen versus Fat and the Arizona bullpen in a series that has really swayed to Seattle. I mean, I'm on it. I don't really know what kind of numbers anybody would love to hear about this. I do think Fat's going to pitch well. I don't think he's going to pitch poorly. I stayed off of the first 5, but just look at the disparity between the Seattle bullpen and the Arizona bullpen. Seattle bullpen has just been outstanding. Since the beginning of the month, they have a 1.08 ERA. They have a 1.08 ERA. Since the beginning of the month, and Arizona's bullpen, I'm sorry, it's 2.44. So I was looking at the average, 2.44 ERA, which is the second best in baseball. And let me scroll all the way down here to Arizona, which has a 4.32 and gives up a 264 batting average with a 400 plus slugging. Arizona bullpen is significantly weaker than the Seattle bullpen. I'm going to take what I believe is a slightly better pitcher versus a team that struggles on the road. And I did not buy the Arizona hype this year. I've been fading them when I have seen them on the road, and it's been successful. Took Seattle on Monday. I'm going to take them again here to finish off the sweep. So I like Seattle money line for the full game.
Listen, I like Seattle. I liked them a lot last year. I like all their pitches. I like their pitching staff. I agree with you 100%. Fat hasn't been pitching it. I think he's going to get better and better.
I
agree. Like you said,
well.
I don't expect them to not be. But I'll tell you, Arizona doesn't hit. They don't have good numbers. They're pretty close to in the bottom of the league against righties. Also, so
especially on the road. Especially on the road. So I love it. You took the run line also, right? I sprinkled the run line a little bit because it was plus 165. It was plus 165. So I was like, all right, I'll throw like a 10% sprinkle on there just to kind of, add it. Because if I just took the money line, it was 128, I believe. But when I throw in the run line and the little sprinkle, the bet, then all of a sudden the odds are changed from I think it's a minus 104, minus 103 again. I was told there'd be no math today, so
no.
Please.
No math, especially for no math.
I don't do conversions well. All right, I do not do conversions well.
Yeah, me either. I got to look up the formula every time, and yeah, me either. Me either. But I like that look. I like the look. Arizona, again, another team kind of like Texas Rangers. All the teams. It happens. Teams that are in the playoffs and make those deep runs into the season. They don't always. They don't. It takes them a while to get going again. A team like Arizona, I have a feeling will be there. They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. They don't. They got some pitching issues, but they'll figure it out. The last game that I am on, and then
we lost you again.
Muted.
Throw that microphone out.
I said, "Fuck."
What the hell? Hey, we heard that.
Yeah, good. You were supposed.
Now we go.
Oh, there it goes again.
There it goes again.
Mike didn't appreciate that up close contact.
It's the plug. It's the plug.
Yeah,
I just
the wire's
realized
going bad.
Yeah, it's the plug going in. I just wrapped the other plug around it so it stays. High tech stuff here at Who-Bangin Sports.
You gotta let that plug soak, Dom. You gotta let it soak.
Yeah. And this I'll be honest with you, the computer I'm using, because the picture is good, is a real old computer, so the ports must be getting all, kind of loose. The next game I am on is the Phillies against the Padres. Taijuan Walker is back after his rehab start in the minor leagues. I don't expect him. I don't think it's a great spot for him to start against the Padres. I think the Padres, little by little, are getting better. I took the Padres minus 126, even though King is pitching, and I'll tell you, you want to look at some up and down, all over the place numbers. Look at King. He had it was his first start of the year, but 7 walks against the Giants. Then he struck out the Brewers. I think he had 9 or 10 against the Brewers. Mm-hmm. He's all, a little bit all over the place. But his last 4 starts were all on the road. He's back home. I like the Padres in this spot, mainly because of Walker and the Phillies. The Phillies have been hitting better and better, and we know that. But I don't know. I think it's going to take a couple starts for Walker to get into form. Tatis is starting to hit the ball. I like the Padres in this spot. Very, simple. I took them minus 106. What time is that game? That's all right, 4:10 game. It starts late. Anybody have? See, the under and over went from 8 to 8.5. The Padres continue to take money. Now I'm seeing them at minus 148. So opening them at minus 125, 124. So I got them at a decent price. There's still money coming in on them. I just don't like the spot today for the Phillies. So I went with the Padres. I've been betting the Phillies a lot though lately. The Phillies, are a thorn in the Mets side. That's for sure. But anybody have any thoughts on this? Phillies Padres game. And now, like I said, I took the Phillies in the first game in the series because of the Padres but now they're settled back at home. And Taijuan Walker's first outing this year, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, maybe.
It is my team, so I do watch all these games, and I can tell you that it's never a guarantee what kind of version of Michael King you're getting. Are you getting Michael King? Or are you getting Michael Queen? You don't know. And I would be surprised if the Phillies didn't take this opportunity to rest some of their guys. Just being in San Diego, the weather is going to be gorgeous. It's going to be over type weather, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a lesser lineup and King have a very good day. I think a lot of Padre fans knew that the start after the Brewers in Colorado was going to be a shit show because he threw his career high in pitches in a game, and then you go to Colorado for your next game. Come on. You guys have been around baseball a long time. How likely would you expect him to pitch well after a career high, going to Coors? He was destined to pitch poorly. I think this is a good spot for him coming back home, being able to face a Philly team that is prone to swinging and missing at times. Not recently. They've looked very, very good. I would lean over. I'd lean Philly team total, just hoping that the Padres bullpen is going to, just blow it again. But I would say this is probably more towards the Padres, but with
I
Xander
agree.
Bogaerts at the top of the lineup for inexplicable reasons, it kills a lot of Padre innings. So that's kind of one of the reasons I would never be betting a Padres side is that guy who has been nicknamed Flanders because he's afraid of the homer. He just kills innings.
You sound like I do with the Mets. I don't want to bet the sides. Yeah.
He's passionate about his team, man. What can you say?
It's frustrating.
He doesn't get it when he doesn't get what he wants. He gets pissed off, just like all of us do.
100%. Yes, I'd turn into a 5-year-old child, and I'm not ashamed of that.
Even though I'm a big Yankees guy, I'm like that with the Rays. I cheer for the Rays when I'm in Florida and everything. But yeah, same exact thing. Same exact thing.
What's the next game you're on, Doc?
Well, I got one left here, and I'm
going
to refer back to our guy Julian, who liked the first 5 under in the O's and the A's game. We're going to play the alphabet game here with the O's and the A's, right? But what can we say? Blackburn has been spectacular. Coming out of the gates early. He did get hit up his last out against the Yanks. He gave up 4 runs and 5 hits. So not as sharp as he's been early on, but still nonetheless sharp enough here. And then with the O's, their pitching's taxed up a little bit, but the O's to me are the new Rays as far as how they handle business with their pitching rotation. Where to get Suarez today, 1-0 and 2 starts with a 0. That's right, a 0 ERA in 11.1 innings, 5 2/3, both times out with a 7.9 whip. Who's been spectacular here, guys. And one thing the A's don't do is they don't hit right-handed pitching very well. They're behind the Sox. They're the league worst. So I'm all over this under, guys. 4.5, -4, under 4.5, at a decent number. And then also, I think the A's are live in the first 5, which is something I did last week. Is I took a plus a half a run at a plus number here. So I think the game will be tight early on. I think we see a decent pitching matchup early on. And then surprisingly enough, if you want to go late, the A's bullpen right now is a little bit higher rated than the O's bullpen, surprisingly enough. So, maybe that presents a little bit of value and a full game under too. So anyways, I like the A's on first plus a half run, plus 108. And then I definitely love the under first 5 under 4.5 runs. So under 4.5 runs, and I'm taking A's at plus a half a run, first 5 plus 108.
I tell you, the Yankees are playing better. They play pretty good on the road. I got to say that, and they do walk. They have the best walk rate versus lefties, which I thought was interesting. But Oakland's been, wait, my thing with my where the hell am I here?
Yeah, we're on the A's.
What did you take? Oh, you took. I'm talking about the damn Yankees. Baltimore. Well, I told you what happened yesterday with Baltimore, right? I took the over 8. And it was, they scored 7 runs, but Oakland's been. I didn't think they were going to play so well. They showed me something this series, especially by winning that first game. That's what I was going to mention about the Yankees. I mean, they split the games in New York, but man, they hit 2 nice prices. Both were plus 200. One was 255, right? One was plus 2. They were both over 200. I went against them that first game. I was surprised. I thought I took the Baltimore team total over. That's what it was. The first.
Well, Blackburn too. They're the 2 guys.
Oakland held them down. Blackburn's been decent this year.
Yeah.
And I like that bet. It's a little. What would you pay? What was the price you paid?
I paid for the total.
Yeah.
Or for the runs.
For both.
I mean for the. Yeah, I got the under 8 under is I got 115.
Gotcha.
Minus 4.5 minus 115. Then I got plus 108 on that plus a half a run.
Is this the last game of that series?
This is it. Yeah.
Yep. This is the last game of the series. Yeah. No. I completely agree. We were talking about that plus half a
Yeah,
run.
I flipped the switch on that. I was a big lay and a half run, but if I
Uh-huh.
find value in teams that are pitching well and maybe a little bit, if it correlates with my under too, so I think it's going to be tight early on. So that's why I like it even more. But yeah, I don't I was always big, especially with the Rays last year, lay and a half run. If you go back, and I think we talked about it, I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but we looked at teams that were profitable, laying the half run,
Yes.
and right now the Rays aren't that team. But I think the Yankees were profitable. I think the O's were profitable, but not today. Not today, A's. Not today, O's. Today is the A's.
We were talking last week, Moose, that I was saying just one of the bets I just don't take no more, and I won't bet is the first 5 run line. I just don't take it. I stopped taking it last year. I just hate the bet.
Laying the half.
So I don't take it. But we really talked about how, if you think about it, that plus first 5 is really mathematically a good bet. You can win it more than one way, right? So, and it's a bet that hardly anybody ever takes. But Doc, when we were talking about the numbers that we've seen with EV analytics that we like to both use, the one thing I don't know that we got to look into is like they got the run line prices, the run line, the numbers and stuff. But how do we know if it's a plus or a minus run line?
Like give you ROI. Oh, you mean how do you know? Well, that's the thing. Like I was preaching for the O's for years about one of the best teams on the run line. I said a lot of times you're going to be laying like 180, 190. So I mean to go back and look at every individual game to figure out, and then try to figure out the splits. When they're laying or getting, something like that. I'm not going to say you have to do it religiously, but it's based on the analytical side. I guess is they measure it currently, but I think with them you have to go back and they'll just you have to go back and look at what the average line is more or less. So
right.
I mean, personally, I like to split the first 5 money line run line, and it does give you better odds, and that way your run line loss is only a half a unit loss rather than a full on unit.
Right.
So all my first 5 bets, if I'm taking a side, is going to be half unit on the money line, half unit on the run line. I much prefer to take the plus half run than the minus half run, but you're usually almost always going to get the better odds on the minus half a run versus the plus half a run.
Without a doubt.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
I mean, you look at them full game here. I mean, we're looking at what, plus 165 or plus 160, and I'm only getting 108. So yeah, I'm giving up some value on the money line, but then I say, you know what? The way I think the game is going to be tied in with the under, I'll take the plus half a run.
Yeah.
For the first 5.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I am on one more game. I'm not even going to go deep.
And I might follow Moose on that. I might take that half a unit on that on the side too.
I like the way that sounds. I like that. I like that look. That makes sense. I really didn't think about doing that. It kind of goes along the same thing. It kind of goes along that -1 thing at the end of the full game, right?
Way.
Which I don't. That's a
in order to win your money line, you have to win the first 5. So that one run is going to pay out either whether it's the run line or it's the money line. So that's why I always just put the half unit style. But I mean, I totally understand if you'd rather have the money line and the push is much
you can still
safer
push
bet.
and win the plus half too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. If you push and it's a much safer bet and you still get a plus half a run, then you turn it into a win. Whereas if you're giving up the juice, then it's just a different story. But I still think it gives you much, much better odds in the long run.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That's
it. I put my place. I got everything in the chat what I'm on today. I just
I'll do the same.
Cool. The last game I am on is a rare bet on the Angels. I've never bet the Angels. I bet against them a lot actually, and I bet with the Twins a lot, but in different ways. I don't like Pablo Lopez. I think the Angels it's a good spot. It was only a -102. And basically, I took a shot with the Angels today, just basically because of Pablo Lopez. He and Reed Ditmars. I mean, he's not his last start was against Baltimore, so that wasn't. But he went. He had only 4 strikeouts. he did go 7 innings. He went 7 full innings. 16 innings before that. 19. Innings, outs before that. 19 outs against Boston. He's averaging his last 5 over 17 outs per game. So he's pitching deep. He's not walking many. He has his last 5 average is only 2 walks. But again, not striking out a ton of guys. Only, what did he have? Almost 7 Ks average. So he's not pitching bad. I don't like Pablo Lopez. He's had a rough start. I just took basically a shot today, which is my Sunday. That's my Sunday betting, taking shots. Because just
like
Sunday
dogs
just
on
seems so
Sunday
weird.
betting.
And I don't spend much time on the Caps because it just seems so weird on Sundays. It really does. It's a tough. So that's why I don't go big. I bet I don't really double up on any units or anything like that. But that's what I took. I took the Angels minus 102. Tonight's game is what? Chicago against Boston tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Tanner Houck is pitching. He's another one pitching great this year so far, right?
Yeah, he's good. Well, this is a fun fact about Boston. They actually hired I think it's the CEO or the president of operations for Driveline, which
Right.
is a pitching-based company out in Seattle, and they were one of the pioneers of this whole arm care revolution. Just a side note, I was doing the stuff before they were doing the stuff, so just make sure that's out there in the universe. But they have revolutionized the Boston pitching development program, because if you remember the last, almost their entire history, they never developed their own arms. They would always have to buy their arms for the most part. And you're starting to see this with all their pitchers are putting up career numbers. Pavetta looks amazing. Houck looks amazing. Bello looks amazing. I mean, these guys all look legit arms. And I think it's credit to the fact that they brought in a company that specializes in arm care, rehabilitation, prehab, and all the things that, personally, I've been doing for years. And it's nice to see that kind of thing getting implemented in the MLB a little bit more than just this old school, you go out and long toss, you run poles. No, that is not applicable for all pitchers. In fact, I hate pitcher poles. Pitcher poles are the dumbest thing in baseball.
Hey, aren't they the best starting staff in baseball, right? Best ERA as far as that's concerned is Boston, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, if they're not one, they're two. They were one during the week, that's for sure. I just looked up their staff quickly. I mean, we know ERA, we don't, isn't the tell-all be-all, but their staff ERA, 0.82 Pavetta, 1.35 Crawford, 1.65 Houck, 1.96 Whitlock, and a 3.04 with Bello, who I think he'll get a little better as the year goes on. But that staff, no, I'll tell you the truth. If you would have asked me at the beginning of the year to rank pitching staffs, I don't know if I'd have Boston at the top like that. That's for sure, right?
That one, it must be. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Must be has something to do with what you were saying. Also, must have to be play into it.
Yeah, there's also a large trend. At least there had been. Shout out LJ, who's sent me this a while back. But Boston first fives were a big thing. I'm not sure if it is as much because of the injuries that they had. They didn't have Devers in the lineup for quite a while. Story obviously going down.
Yeah, O'Neal, right?
They've had some injuries, so I haven't been on it. But early
Devers came back. He came back 2 days ago.
Yes, yeah, Devers is back. But for a little while, I was absolutely riding that, and it was kind of funny when I got the message from LJ. It was just like, "Oh, really? That's a trend? Oh, I've just been following the pitchers. That's all I've been doing."
Right.
And I don't know if you can play it as much now, but it's been one of the better plays in baseball is Boston first five.
Boston first five. Let's see here. Well, they got the run line, game total. Anyhow, I like Boston tonight, by the way, against the Cubs. I like them. I like that's the night game tonight. I like Boston tonight against the Cubs. The Cubs come into Citi Field next. They leave Boston and come here. I was going to EV Analytics. They got the first five run lines and game totals, but they don't do first five as far as the team is concerned. First five. Well, like, do you use EV Analytics at all?
Yes, I'm on it right now. So you go home. Where's my? Oh yeah, they don't give you the money line. They only give you the run line.
Yeah, the Dodgers are the best run line team. 11-6 to the run line at home. And yeah, they don't tell you that part.
All right, the Red
tell you.
Sox are 19-9 on the run line.
There you go.
First 5, and at home, they have not been as good. But if you remember, they didn't play their first home series until a couple weeks into the year, and that was by the time Story got hurt. And then Devers was missing time. But if you look at their total cumulative record, they are 19-9, up 9.2 units with a 26.55 return on investment.
Well, their first 5, that would mention it. I just looked at them away because they played so many away games. First 5 run line, they are 13-3, 48.6 ROI, almost 10 units. So there you go. It's the away is the Red Sox, Brewers, Guardians, Pirates, Cubs. That's the 5 away run line team. But anyhow, they don't list the other too bad. But regardless, so listen, those are the games that we were on. I got a text from DJ saying he just got up. Let me see if I could get his UFL picks. But let's go over the games that we're on again one more time, and we will get out of here on a Sunday. Doc, go over the games again you're on.
Yes, sir. It'd probably be easier for me to look in the chat where I put them up. But anyway, I pretty much know them right here. I'm on the. I'll run them backwards. I'm on the first 5 under 4.5 minus 115 on the O's game. I'm gonna take the A's plus a half a run, plus 108. And I'm gonna do what Moose said. I'm gonna split that up with the A's on the side too. I'm gonna take the A's at plus 165 on the first 5. Half a unit each on that. And then going back to the Dodger game, Toronto, I'm on the Toronto, even though the market's moved against me, screw the market. I'm taking Toronto and Dodgers over 8.5 runs. And Moose says that even money somewhere, plus 100, I'll take that. But early on,
FanDuel had them at plus 100.
Yeah, so I had minus 115 early this morning, but I hadn't made that bet yet, so I will go ahead. I put it in the chat at minus 115 to be fair, so I did that already. So it is what it is. And then where's the first game that I had early on here? Let's see.
There's DJ's UFL picks, by the way.
DJ's got his UFL.
Yeah, plus 3 and under 47 for the Defenders.
There you go.
He was in the chat. I didn't even notice. I forget sometimes.
Oh yeah, then I got the Cleveland. I had the Cleveland Atlanta game. I got Cleveland plus 145. The Guardians.
Gotcha.
I still call them
the Guardians.
Yeah, the Indians.
They're still the Redskins and the Indians. We still call these teams.
Why did the Cleveland not go to the Spiders? Like, wasn't that the most obvious name change ever? And they just bailed on that?
I don't know what happened there. Mr. MooseMoney bets. What do you want today?
I got the first 5 under for KC and Detroit. I got Seattle money line with a little itty bitty sprinkle on the run line, and then Paul Goldschmidt total bases over 1.5.
I'll be watching that game, so I'll be looking forward to watching his at bats. That's for sure. And what were your Seattle bets?
The money line full game, and then a little 10% sprinkle on the run line.
Gotcha. I'm on the Mets over 8 minus 120. Marlins under 8.5 minus 122. Nats plus 116. Angels minus 102. Padres minus 126. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bets again today. See if we could squeak out a little bit of profit.
Some units. Let's get some units.
Take it from there.
Hey, Julian. So you need you got 2 touchdowns and a field goal for you to lose that bet.
Right?
Yeah, man.
Don't go to overtime. Kick the field goal and lose.
I like it.
Oh man! All right, so we will let us get out of here. It is time to start our Sunday. I appreciate you guys coming in. Doc, anything going on this week with you? or you'll just be.
No,
normal?
I don't have. I got a pretty clean slate, so I might pop on with you one day this week and see what comes up. But
Yeah.
I got a little travel work wise early in the week, but we'll see. I know
Gotcha.
When's your next show for Light It Up?
I do it on Friday morning, but I've been doing during the week. I've been I get home from work on. I only work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I get home like 2:30. So I've been doing like a late afternoon pick, a couple picks, recording something and putting it out. So
type stuff, right?
yeah, so we'll do that during the week. I know it's a tough time for Moose with his schedule, but Moose, you're welcome anytime to come on. Any Sunday, you're welcome always, and I will stay in touch with you. I appreciate you coming on.
What a treat to hang with Moose.
Yeah,
Baseball
absolutely,
knowledge,
man.
stupendous baseball knowledge on this guy.
Yes,
thank you.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
love having you. We love having you. I had some contact with Dave also this week. Picks from Dave, our friend Dave Rogers.
Yeah,
so I will get him in during the week too. We tried to do something the last 2 Fridays. It just didn't work out in the afternoon. But he has his show on Friday night with the nerds, so that's always fun. Tuesday night we have our live sweat. The boys are still at it. Jimmy Gomez and Ixanizzle. They're still doing their live sweat. They've been doing a good job, man. They don't miss them, man. They really are proud of the boys. We're proud of the boys.
Consistency, like you say, you can count on them being there every week.
Yeah, man. That's
They
right.
get it done. Shout out to
All
our
right,
guys.
man. Let me get out of here. I appreciate you guys coming in. Everybody, we will see you Friday for sure, and during the week sometime. Thank you for coming.
All right. Yeah.